Michael Jordan was secretly mentoring Kobe Bryant like a little brother.
What?
And that's interesting because the last thing I heard, they were competitive rivals who couldn't stand each other. And that was just partially true.
It's interesting.
But it shouldn't have been that way. To see these two athletic giants who were both loved by their own people and fans be displayed as enemies may have been good for competition, but was it good for the developing minds of the youth to see?
I don't think so.
And who really benefited from that type of division and separation?
Something to think about.
Now, I personally never met Michael Jordan, a basketball player, except seeing him on TV. So who is Michael Jordan to me, except a television character, created from bits and pieces of video clips, pictures, and audio clips that I've seen? That's what the media gave me to create my image of Michael Jordan in my mind, because I personally never spent time with him.
It's true.
But what I did see, he was a great basketball player and fierce competitor who liked to stick his tongue out his mouth when he soared through the air over other men to slam the ball into the hoop.
It's incredible.
He seemed to defy what they call gravity, like an athletic god or something. And although I never seriously played basketball,
You never seriously played basketball. Everybody played basketball.
I have more respect for it now, knowing that it was an ancient sport of these Americas. This isn't new for us.
Not at all.
Nevertheless, although I never met Michael Jordan, there are certain truths that I could pick up from watching and reading about him.
That's true.
But I also have to reserve my judgment, knowing that I don't know for sure because I wasn't there. And knowing how many intentional fabrications are put out there by the media, I couldn't just say factually.
It's true.
But here are some things that are hearsay. It is said that his work ethic was impeccable,
I've heard of that.
hard to match. And it was said that he was a vicious, non-stop competitor.
I've heard of that.
And it was also said that he wasn't the friendliest man.
And I've heard of that.
That's what was said. As a matter of fact, there was a rapper investor who I never met, nor am I going to say his name, and you may know who I'm talking about, but his story seemed to be pretty credible.
No names.
He concluded that Mike was negative and disrespectful towards his own people. As a matter of fact, I've heard that from several sources. It finally came to be a general feel in the air that that was the case. But I don't recall anybody stepping to Michael Jordan about it. From the TV clips that I watched to learn about him, since I never met him or spent time with him, he was depicted as a jerk to his own people, who smiled and gave love to everybody else. As a basketball god, it seemed like we were not able to enjoy him like everybody else. And that was the perception I received from the media. But see, this isn't about bashing Michael Jordan,
Not at all.
because I don't know him, except for the bits and pieces of video clips sewn together to try to understand him. I know that a video clip, picture, or audio clip couldn't possibly begin to shed light on who he really was as a person the other 22 hours of the day.
No, I couldn't.
Off the court, who's that person?
What was that?
I heard some good things, I heard some bad things. Either way, it could be all hearsay and possibly just, opinions from haters. I don't know.
That's right.
But what I do know is this. He was secretly mentoring Kobe Bryant during and after his basketball career. That's right. Michael Jordan.
And what else?
And it does kind of make me believe some of the stories about Michael Jordan being unkind to his own, because he said out of his own mouth that at first he didn't even want to really deal with Kobe Bryant. But see, Kobe pressed himself upon Michael in order to learn because that was the type of person he was. He would drop his ego in order to learn everything he could about his craft or whatever he was interested in, according to multiple sources, including Michael Jordan. Let's read some of the quotes of Michael Jordan directly, okay, about his relationship with Kobe. See, Mike said, and I quote, "Kobe was like a little brother that was a nuisance, that got into your closet, your shoes, everything, which turned into love," unquote. Here's another one, quote, "He used to call, text 11:30, 2:30, 3 a.m., talking about post-up moves, footwork, and sometimes triangles. At first it was an aggravation, but then it turned into a certain passion," unquote. See, there was something else going on in between that we didn't know about. I think it would have been very inspirational to know about. Here are some more words of Michael Jordan about Kobe Bryant, and I quote, "This kid had passion like you would never know. It's an amazing thing about passion. If you love something, if you have a strong passion for something, you will go to an extreme to try to understand it or try to get it," unquote. See, I believed Michael Jordan when he said these things because in the time of sorrow, the ego tends to be removed. And he was crying at the time. And everybody should know now that Michael Jordan is not trying to get himself drug on social media again with those crying memes unnecessarily. You know, for real, you know, I'm talking about tears was running down his face, the whole speech, even into his mouth. I was like, yo, this man is telling the truth right here. On top of that, Kobe's grieving wife was there as well, and she was agreeing. So who am I to say it wasn't true? But it showed how driven Kobe was when he asked Michael Jordan what his mind state was when he was 12 years old playing basketball because he was trying to teach his 12-year-old daughter some moves. But what it showed is how he went into the mind to pull out peak performances. Right? You see that? He went into the mind. And it showed his dedication to his daughter in a time where men are depicted as not caring. See, Kobe had to break through to Michael Jordan's cold heart to warm him up. Remember, Kobe came into the NBA as an 18-year-old young man and started dominating grown men. How? 5 NBA championships? 15-time member of the All-NBA team? 2-time final MVP? Who was this man? He was somebody that learned and pursued the greatness of Michael Jordan even off the court to learn how to perfect his life. Here are some more quotes from Michael Jordan about Kobe. And just so you know, this is more about Michael Jordan. Quote, "What Kobe was to me was inspiration that someone truly cared about the way that I played the game, or the way he wanted to play the game. He wanted to be the best basketball player that he could be. And as I got to know him, I wanted to be the best big brother that I could be," unquote. See, Kobe activated Michael Jordan's love by showing a true interest in his gifts and how he executed them. But more importantly, how he managed the affairs of his heart. And Michael, like an old grumpy grandfather, couldn't resist. See, remember, Kobe came from high school to the NBA and began to dominate men. Mike said, to be a big brother, he had to put up with the aggravation, late calls, and the dumb questions. He said he recently texted him at 2 a.m. saying, I'm trying to teach my daughter some moves. What were you thinking about when you were growing up and working on your moves? At 12 years old. What? At 2 a.m.? He's strategizing how to teach his daughter moves?
Who does that?
Michael Jordan said they talked about everything.
Everything.
That's what he said. Quote, we could talk about anything related to basketball, but we could talk about anything related to life. And we, as we grew up in life, rarely had friends that we could have conversation like that. Well, it's even rare when you can grow up against adversaries and have conversations like that, unquote. See, they were able to overcome their own egos and that manufactured strife sensationalized by the media to have a loving relationship, and that's to be commended.
That's right.
Mike said, quote, he knows how to bring out the best in you, and that's what he did for me, unquote. So we say, thank you, Michael Jordan, for showing us an example of how to look out for your little brother and your people.
That's right.
I wish it was done in the open for the truth to be known and for all to be inspired. We need more examples showing us you don't have to turn your back on your people to be successful.
That's right.
Is it possible to bring out the best in one another instead of tearing each other down like enemies? It is possible. Here's a hidden example just made known to us. Despite how the media presented them as egotistical rivals, they were, quote, very, very close friends, unquote. Michael Jordan had this to say about him, quote, I admired him because of his passion. You rarely see someone who's looking and trying to improve each and every day, not just in sports, but as a parent, as a husband, unquote. Now, this is the last thing that I heard him quote, all right? I promise you, from this day forward, I will live with the memories of knowing that I had a little brother that I tried to help in every way I could. Please rest in peace, little brother, unquote. So everybody, please reach out to Michael Jordan and thank him and encourage him to share more of his greatness to those that sincerely are striving to perfect their lives every day as little brothers.
That's right. Reach out today.
And with love, I encourage all of you who have reached great heights to stand up without fear and love those that support you.
That's right.
And that's trying to love you.
That's right.
Time is short.
That's right.
I love you all. Currently.